In a previous video I started looking into the interference I'm experiencing. I've got about an S8 noise level, S9 noise level, which makes it very difficult to operate on HF, specifically on SSB. I can get away with it on data modes, but SSB is a bit of a struggle. In the last video I took a handheld on HF on 80 meters, set to AM, and just went around the house searching for sources of noise, turned off all the power. The one place I didn't look was up here in the loft. So here we go, I've got my handheld, and I've already done this, but I'll show you what I found. So this is my feeder cable up here. You can just about see that in the camera above my head, so there's a bit of noise there. Nowhere near as bad as it was. If I go up here, that is there's a strip light up there. Now normally that's turned off, so it's not the end of the world. And if I get the other camera, I'll show you where my feeder cables actually run. So the shack is down below the floor here, so you can see all my feeder cables come up through the floor or the ceiling there, and one of them goes over to that beam and runs along the beam down here by the chimney. Now there's some networking cables there, which we found out in the last video. They were quite noisy, and the cable goes all the way down there across the floor and ends up going out somewhere under the side of the house down there into the back garden. So that's one cable. The other cable comes out of the floor there, up, and runs along this beam here, which is basically behind my head. So I don't know how well you can see this, but you've got this I correct myself, sorry, this is the cable here. I've actually moved it because if I show you, if I get my radio, got quite a bit of noise there. Now these white cables are not actually connected to anything. They look like mains cables, but they're not connected to anything. They were something I put in as part of an old rotator system for the old mast. So these white cables are not actually connected to anything. Now this black cable is VDSL internet. That's our internet connection. It comes in from the front of the house under the roof over that side behind the camera. Goes hang on, if I get my other camera I can show you. So it comes in somewhere down there, goes up this beam here, and you can just about see it there, comes back down, and it runs all the way along this beam behind my head, and drops down somewhere down here. You won't be able to see it because this beam is in the way, but drops down outside and then goes down into the living room. So I originally had this feeder cable above my head, which is connected to my end-fed halfway for 80 meters. It was originally running along this beam here, or just below it. It was resting on top of these boxes, and it was picking up a hell of a lot of noise from this internet connection. So what I've actually done now is got a load of cable clips and a hammer, and moved it so it runs a bit higher up. So I've got a good couple of feet now between the two cables, and basically pinned it to the ceiling, then dropped it down, giving it a little bit of distance from here. Now it does pass the cable down that end and this end for the internet. There's not a lot I can do about that without moving the internet cable, and I'm a bit reluctant to go messing with that. So I've given myself a bit more separation between the cables. This one down here, by the way, which I showed you earlier, running past the internet cables. If I get the handheld down there, it's actually not too bad. That's not too noisy, so I'm not as worried about that. It's this one was the problem one. So now I've moved the cable. I've already checked back downstairs, and I've actually managed to lose about an S point of noise. So I'm back down to an S7, which is where I was when I turned off all of the power in the house. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's a good starting point. There's still a lot more to do. The mains is picking up a lot of noise here, so I still need to filter the mains. So that's another project. I've actually bought all the components to make a mains filter, just waiting for them to be delivered. So that's next on my list of things to do. But for the meantime, all looking good. Fingers crossed. I'm about an S point down on the noise, and we'll keep plugging away. Again, like I said in the last video, look at a separate antenna and see what we can do with that. I'm thinking maybe a mag loop down the very bottom of the garden. So positive steps in the right direction. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, please click the thumbs up button. It lets me know that I'm heading in the right direction with the channel and gives me the confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't forget to click the subscribe and also the bell button to be notified when I upload new content. If you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to click the thumbs down button. Just tell me why in the comments below. I welcome your feedback, and constructive criticism will help me to improve the channel. Take care, and I hope you will catch me in the next video.